Okay, I'm back, and now on your Microsoft Excel worksheet lab, you should now be down to part 2 where it says measuring a voltage with a voltmeter. And so in order to do that, we're going to need a circuit. So I want you to go to the FET, grab a battery, and put that onto your tabletop. Okay, now you're going to need to connect those two wires, the battery to the resistor with some wires. So grab a wire and put it on your tabletop, and then you're going to connect it to the end of the battery. So you see it automatically connects for you. And then the other end of the wire, connect that to the resistor, and notice that there's no current because it's not a complete circuit. So grab another wire, drag it onto your workstation, and complete the circuit. And now you should notice that electricity is flowing because you've got now a completed circuit. And those things represent electrons because they're negatively charged and they're going around in the wire. Alright, now let's say that we need to know what is the voltage of the battery. So click on the battery, and then down at the bottom it gives you a blue box that shows the voltage of the battery. And it says that the voltage of the battery is 9 volts. Okay, so I like that number. So we're going to go down to the second blue and yellow box and go ahead and put in as our measured voltage 9 volts. So put that in the yellow box. Now, so that is going to be the actual voltage on the battery. But now we want to measure it. We want to measure the voltage on that battery. So we're going to grab a voltmeter from the right hand side. So click on that voltmeter, drag it onto your workstation, and then take the black probe and put it on one side of the battery, and then take the red probe and put it on the other side of the battery, and you see that the reading on the voltmeter is 9 volts. So it's the same as what we said was the voltage of the battery. Okay, so put that number in the other yellow box. So we have the measured voltage of the battery using the voltmeter is 9 volts, and then the real voltage of the battery is 9 volts. So those two numbers should be the same. Okay, so any questions? Hopefully not. Okay, so now disconnect your probes. So take the red probe off and take the black probe off, because now we want to measure the current in that circuit. So we've got a 10 ohm resistor and we've got a 9 volt battery, and we want to measure the current in that circuit, and we want to calculate the current in that circuit. So let's go back to the Microsoft Excel worksheet. And part 3 is measuring the current with a multimeter. So the actual device is going to be called an ammeter. So an ammeter measures current. So grab your ammeter on the Microsoft on the FET simulation and drag it onto your workstation. Okay, now we're going to uh, open the circuit. So if you take your cursor and you put it on one of the junctions, let's say the junction where it goes from the resistor to the wire, okay, and now if you click on that junction, you get some scissors, yellow scissors, and then if you click on that, it then opens the circuit. And what we're going to do is take the ammeter and insert it into the circuit so it makes one complete circle. So it should go from the resistor to the ammeter, and then from the ammeter to the wire, then from the wire to the battery, from the battery to the wire, from the wire to the resistor. So it should just make one complete circuit. So whenever you put an ammeter into a circuit, you have to open the circuit. Notice that when you measured voltage, you didn't. You just took the two probes and you put them across the circuit. So you don't open a circuit whenever you measure voltage, but you do open the circuit whenever you measure current. So put in the first yellow box. So we're going back to the Microsoft Excel lab, and it's in that first yellow box. It says measured electric current in amps. Okay, so what's the reading on the ammeter? Okay, 0.9 amps. So you're going to record 0.9 amps in that box. Okay, now the second yellow box though says, what is the current calculated? So in order to do this, we're going to use Ohm's law. So on a scratch piece of paper, write down Ohm's law. Okay, V equals IR. Alright, now what do we know? We know the voltage. So the voltage was how many volts? Write it down on your piece of paper. So the voltage was 10. I'm sorry, the voltage was 9. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. So the voltage was 9 volts. Okay, equals, okay, what was the resistor? The resistor was 10. So we're going to say that 9 equals 10 times the current. Okay, and then solve that for the letter I, and what do you get? 0.9. Okay, so you're going to put 0.9 for your calculated current using Ohm's law. So you need to know how to do this. V equals IR. You plugged in the V, you plugged in the R, and then you solved it for the letter I, and you got 0.9. Okay, so we're going to pause the tape here, and then when we come back, we're going to go to part 4 of the lab, resistors in series.